Welcome back to Switch to Linux, and we are going to come back with another business video here, and we're going to be talking about newsletter lists and an excellent free and open source alternative for running your newsletter lists. So welcome back. Today we want to talk just briefly about newsletters. So depending on your business model, you might want a newsletter. You might not. It depends on what you're doing. Generally, a newsletter is a good thing to do. Here on Switch to Linux, I don't really do the newsletters as much. For my author stuff, writing, book publishing, and what we're doing, building the publishing company, we are relying on newsletter lists and have that as an integral part of our data plan. Now, there's a lot of other companies out there, like there's Constant Contact, there's MailChimp. MailChimp was for a long time my favorite go-to, but they just kind of decided that they wanted to get away from newsletter lists and become like this giant whole customer portal type thing, and it was actually became an annoying and atrocious nightmare. And so I started looking at other options. There's a few other ones, like Sendinblue is one I looked at. But really, I like dealing with the free and open source stuff. And there is an excellent application called phpList. Now, way back about 10 years ago, when I first started my web design company, I looked at it, and it was an interesting thing at the time, but it was very limited. In the couple years ago, I started looking at it again when I launched my writing YouTube channel. And with that one there, actually, I installed phpList, played around with it, and it just become, it became everything that MailChimp was before they went insane, which is really cool. And so we want to go ahead and talk about this. Now, first, before we get into how to use it, we want to talk about setting things up. First and foremost, when you're setting up your own PHP list, you want to make sure that your server can handle the type of emails. If you just go to like GoDaddy or something, I don't know why you would want to, but go to one of these, even the A2 hosting, the basic shared plans, those limit the number of emails you can go out. It prevents somebody from picking up a $3 server, burning out a lot of email spam, and then closing the server and moving on. It prevents that type of thing. And so you need to get a server that has more capability and more management capability of your emails. So on A2, I'm using a VPS. I use a core VPS that does not have any specific limitations for email. Now, you have to make sure if you're doing that you're not having any bugs or any issues. I remember one time we had transferred in a control panel from a bad hosting company, and there was a bug in something, and there was a temporary vulnerability on one of those control panels, and that one control panel sent out like 1 million emails or something. It was insane. And so we shut that server's ability to send email down because I had that type of granular control, and then I had to go through and clean up the IP address on several blacklists. That was fun. But that's the type of thing you have to be careful of if you're reselling people's servers. I would have been better off to just create the thing myself and port the website in. That's what I should have done. There's a learning experience, right? But you want to get a server that does not have limitations on email. So if you're looking at AWS, Linode, I'm not sure about DigitalOcean, I didn't check. These actually, they will either block the email ports or have some serious limitations. You can call and request that they unblock it for you, but by default, their servers will all block them. That's why what I'm going to be doing a ISP config test on a live server. I'm actually going to be doing it through an A2 hosting server rather than AWS, which I already have, or Linode, which I am going to do stuff with soon, just not yet. And the reason I'm doing A2 is I don't have to fight with it. The email ports are already opened. And that's the one thing I can't test on ISP config in my local setup because of how the internet's configured around here. So make sure you have a server that can support it. So you're going to be looking at a VPS somewhere. I'm using the A2 hosting VPS for mine, which works out great. You just want to keep an eye on those email send limits, or talk to them and say, hey, I'm setting up a PHP list. You know, it's nothing big or spammy, but what are the limitations on email? Good conversation to have. In general, you're going to want to probably outsource that particular server, just because in my case, doing a residential-based small business, which is kind of what we're gearing this service toward, emails are kind of blocked on residential emails, residential internet connections. you're in a commercial setting, it's a different case. You can probably do everything yourself right from your direct IP address. But you'll kind of determine that. Now, let's get into phpList itself. Now, first and foremost, it has, like I said, all of the various functions that you have. Everything from campaigns to seeing how many subscribers are there. So we'll go ahead and walk through my list here, and I'll go ahead and just kind of show you some screenshots. We're not going to log in just for security of my system here, but we're actually going to use my Writing Done Right instance here because I've actually added some plugins and put more into this one than I have some of the other ones. So you can go through and look at the subscribers tab here. You can search for various subscribers, manage them, so add them to block lists, delete them, add new ones. You can configure attributes, so what data is being collected on the forms. And then you can set a variety of lists. This is something that MailChimp used to have. Hey, all these subscriber lists, it was great. Now you have to pay them the monthly fee to have multiple subscriber lists. So you can do that. You can import subscribers and export them. Excellent. If you need to do a backup or something, make sure you have your lists. And then you can see how many email bounces you have. You can see any suppressions and anything else that you might be able to see. Now, under your campaigns tab, of course, you can send a campaign. You can show a list of your campaigns, and then you can kind of see how many of those emails were open, how many total views there were, how many unique views, how many total clicks throughout there. It'll tell you the number of emails sent and things like that. Now, with a plugin, I actually have a campaign archive link. I think it was the campaign archive link there. What you can do is this will create you a web URL so that you can go in and post this to your social media site. This is something that MailChimp does as well. You send out the email list, but then you also post the thing to your social media so that somebody, if they're interested, they can read it, they can click on it, participate on it, or, hey, sign right up from your email list from there. We have under our statistics tab, we have just the breakdowns, when emails went out, how many unique views. Basically the same thing we saw in campaigns, just a more stratified view. And then there's URL click statistics. So what URLs have been clicked, how many times have those been clicked. And then, let's see, domain statistics. I don't remember what that one does. Okay, so this is domains with the types of emails that you have. So you can see we have the top two there with Gmail and Yahoo, and then there's other domains there as well where people have signed up utilizing other domains, and that'll kind of tell you how many confirmed, unconfirmed, and things like that. Now, as far as the ability to create your newsletter lists, there are actually campaign templates. So these are the templates that will show you what the newsletter looks like. You basically customize the header, the footer, the basic text, and then you can actually drop in some other templates. I'm actually going to be working on some various templates to copy and paste in. I'll be putting them on my Writing Done Right channel, so have a look over there. Everything else here, though, you can add different users. So if I hire a social media person, which I am actually looking to do right now, then I'll just go ahead and give them their own login. So I have my own admin login, they have their admin login. And then there's just a variety of other options that we have inside of here. Very nice application. It is a little bit larger file to download, but it's very simple to install and get set up. If you want to see a good configuration video, I've actually done this on my Writing Done Right channel, so go ahead and link that so you can kind of see the setup, the configuration there. And then we also did another one about creating your landing page. So you can have all these various landing pages, and then you can customize these any way you want. You can get them to match your website. And then I also have, I've actually created some Joomla plugins that will interface with my phpList, so I can actually very easily put a newsletter list on my Joomla website, and then you just enter in the data, and then someone fills in the information. It'll redirect them over to the newsletter sign-in page, and then all they have to do is confirm the information and push the button, and they're signed up. There's nice capabilities that you have within phpList. So if you are looking to do newsletters with your business and you want to focus on free and open source software, definitely have a look at phpList, self-host it. You might need a bigger and better server, but nevertheless, it is something you can do. And by the way, if you have a very small newsletter list or you're just getting started, you actually can do that on your standard shared control panel. You just need to know how many emails can go out in a given hour, and then you can actually set up phpList to batch send emails out per hour so that they will actually all go out without overwhelming your server. So it is possible to do on a smaller server. The other thing you have is if you just want to pay them for the service, they actually do have a paid phpList service that is self-hosted on their end. They handle all the security and stuff like that. You can actually look into them as well, which if you're looking to pay for a solution, but you still want to deal with the free and open source, that would be a good option to go with as well. So you can have a look at their website. We'll have that linked in the description down there as well. So there you have it. There's some newsletter list on Linux with free and open source software. If you like this video, go ahead and give us some subscribe, give us some comments, give us some likes down there, and have a look at the social media pages there and share the videos out far and wide. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux. Thank you for watching this video from Switched to Linux. This channel would not be possible without the backing of the program supporters scrolling on the screen now. You can be a supporter at Patreon at patreon.com/TOMM or at thinklifemedia.com. I also want to thank the open source community who creates such excellent software that makes producing this show possible. Please remember to support your software communities. Thank you, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.